Good morning, everyone, or good evening, or good midday, or good whatever time that is. Oh, I still have to drag this over here. Today, I will look at another plugin again, which is the DOM by Shameless plugs. I have to say, I'm not sure if I'm more of a dominator or more of a submissive person. Sometimes it's more like this, sometimes it's more like that. So before trying this, I would like to encourage the developer to also release a version for the sub, and maybe even the switch, where you can switch in just one plugin between DOM and sub. That would be cool. Then I can always just decide on the fly if I want to be more of a dominator or more of a submissive type. Now let's go on. The DOM is in the house, and it is unmistakable. The DOM is a frankly brutal distortion, overdrive, and amplifier plugin. It is not here to sit quietly in the corner and gently handle all of your audio bits with the greatest care. It is here to rock and roll. So then there is a video that shows that it's usually used as a distortion unit on guitars. I think the sound is not transferred. Maybe now. Yeah, so rock and roll, low pass filter, drive, high pass output, or maybe that's low cut and high cut, I don't know. But that doesn't matter. We will see. Although the DOM is most definitely not modeled after any existing hardware distortion or overdrive pedal or amp in particular, because that's simply not how we rock and roll here. Shameless plugs headquarters. We most definitely expect it to be the first distortion, overdrive, and amplifier plugin that future hardware units will be modeled after. Ooh, big words. Nice. Use cases. A very long text about use cases, but we will find our own use cases. Since I'm not a guitar player myself, we will have to find alternative use cases anyway. And then there's a showcase video, but I mean the plugin only has 4 knobs, so I think I will just give it a spin myself and just see where it goes. One thing that I noticed is that it is recommended to use this plugin in combination with tilde Q, which is a tilde EQ, which is basically something where the EQ curve, which is normally like this, can be tilted like this or like this. And the cool thing about that is, if you would use this curve, in front of the distortion unit and then use the opposite curve afterwards, then of course you get back the original spectrum, but the distortion itself has a different response to that signal. So you kind of get to the same spectral distribution, but the actual distortion sounds different. So that's why the developer recommends to use the tilde EQ before. But my question is, why is the tilde EQ not part of this plugin if it's really recommended to use it in combination? That would be pretty nice, I guess. Maybe that's a plan for the future. Yeah. Future paid version. Phase, mix, and bypass. Yeah, that can be very handy, even though I don't see how a mix knob and a bypass knob and a phase switch is worth money, to be honest, because it's kind of all of these are basically one-liners. No, not completely. Maybe the phase, the polarity switch is a one-liner because it's kind of just inverting the signal by multiplying it with -1. A mix knob can be a little bit more complicated than a one-liner, because sometimes you have to use specific weighting functions so that it does not drop in volume when you're in the middle of it. But and you also have to care that it does not create discontinuities when you use it too quickly. But that's something that you have to do for all sliders anyway in most plugins. And the bypass switch, that might be even the most tricky part of it, because you have to make little crossfades at the right places. But still, that's all. All of this is like not too complicated. But if there is one thing that is always a good reason to add a price tag to a distortion plugin, then it's adding modulators, in my opinion. Especially stuff like envelope followers. I would really consider something like that. And also oversampling is often a very popular thing. Oh yeah, optional oversampling. Yes, so yeah, I guess it will be worth it depending on the price tag. But oh, and even a speaker cabinet simulator. That's also not very trivial if it should be CPU efficient. Very not trivial. So if this is in, then it's definitely worth it. Okay, so I have my Cubase open, and I thought I had already opened the session. Yeah, I have. So this is the session that I had in my last video, where I used and presented Influx or Influx by FKFX, and it was pretty cool. So you should check it out. And the resulting sound is like this. So let's just take some of this stuff, maybe the beginning of the beat, make a new part here. And then let's get rid of the granular stuff. And now I want to make a part that is more harmonic, because we had a lot of crazy stuff going on before already. And I think just not adding all this percussive stuff from up here will already do the trick of making it a little bit more relaxed. And then we take this reggae sound, a rag synth, make a copy of that. By the way, if you're wondering, this super clean sound was made with Synth 1, my favorite synthesizer. I keep saying that to everyone on Facebook and everywhere else. I should make a separated video just about Synth 1, because even though this thing is so old, it just deserves so much more attention in today's world, where people always think that you have to spend tons of money, but this thing has a great workflow. And yeah, I should really go more into detail in some other video about why I think that this is the case. Anyway, I want to use the distortion on this thing because I want to see if we can make it actually rock some more. And we could try that by what was the name of the thing? The dom, right. We want to dominate the chords. Oh, it already does something. Great. So let's just turn off the filters for now and only check out the drive. So the drive goes from 0 to 96, very specific, and it's in decibels, so it goes up really high. I hope that it has all gain compensation. I think it has gain compensation, because if it did not, then 96 decibels would be extremely loud. But the gain compensation is weird, because on 0 it was very quiet. Somewhere around here it was like reasonably loud, and somewhere around here it got a little bit uncomfortable. But at least when it went up here, it did not change a lot anymore. So yeah, not sure if it has gain compensation. This plugin has the sensitive mode on shift and it has sensitive drag on mouse wheel. What? Yay! This is the best plugin I ever saw in my whole life. Really, such a small plugin, and finally someone does it right. Anyway, what happens when I click here? I guess it will send me to the website. Yes, it does. And what is here? Another link to the website, but it's different. This is the link to Shameless plugs in general. And this is only to the plugin. Okay, cool. Cool. What is this? That's the same link. And this is cool. It actually is resizable, even though I would say that it kind of makes no sense, because we can clearly see that these buttons are, that these knobs are made of film strips, and from images we can, for example, see that when we sensitive drag, and it only just sometimes changes the volume. So I mean, I can understand it. I do find it very complicated to describe the shades and the lighting of a knob just with pure math and vector graphics and stuff like that. It's kind of more comfortable to use images if you want to go for that style. But then resizability is an issue, as you can see, because then some elements are super sharp, like these text fields, and other elements are rather washed out. And yeah, I think I will just put it back to normal. Oh yeah, I can double click it and then it goes back to normal. So this is the intended size, which is it's good that you can go back to that. Yeah. Okay, I really like how it kind of adds some sort of thump to the end of the notes. It does. That sounds really nice, and I even hoped for something like that. So this is rag distorted, and now I want to try something different. I want to actually put a reverb before the DOM, and then only then try the DOM. Because sometimes distortion sounds cool with reverb. I want to try to use my own filter in front of the plugin instead of relying on the ones in the DOM. Now I can see in which situation the mix knob would actually be valuable, because now I made a sound that's very different from what would be the case without the DOM, and it would be interesting to see how that sounds in mix. And obviously it is not very motivating to just make a new track because of that, so I just won't try. Nice. So next I will try to actually not use the atmospheric one. There is an atmospheric dist atmo reggae sound, and instead try to drive the bass line. Not sure yet if I want to do that in parallel or just by itself, but I will just try this for now. Just trying it by itself. And first I have to attach the new sidechain to the new track. Another good example, now I have this high drive but low high cut, so that's basically just pushing the lowest frequencies. Really cool with this distortion type, and I could mix it with a dry signal. I could actually try that really easily and see what happens. Whoa, cool. Actually, let's put that everywhere where the bass is, because I always felt like the bass was a little bit weak. Okay, now so that we have the strongifier, we can try to actually automate thing up to something else. think I will risk something that might make the video very long and I might fail miserably, but I just feel like it, so fuck it. I will make a new instance of Synth1, even though this video is not about Synth1. And I don't want it to be about Synth1, even though I said earlier that I have to make a separate video about it. But the thing is, this part just sounds so chiptune-ish, so I would like to have more chiptune melodic elements that I can then try to drive hard with the plugin. And I set up my Synth1 to produce a square wave by default. I know I'm just playing really bad stuff with the key of the song, but if you have seen my other video, then you know that this song has a very weird key that you cannot play along easy without a lot of skill, and I don't have a lot of skill on the keys. And so on and so on. I think the sound is pretty okay for now. Which sounds do I take? I think it will be enough to just take these two. might have to make a little bit more space with this thing. I want to find a cool setting for each of the chords, even if that takes a while, but I just want to do that. Sorry that I don't care so hard about everyone's time that I just do something like that, but I think that's part of a plugin review, and that should be more like it should be part of a plugin review too, because obviously when you use something like this that only has 4 knobs, it's not like you only use this on a track. You always do it in some context. You have an intention, and my intention with something like this is that I drive something really hard. I really fuck that shit up, and then when it has a lot of drive, then I put flangers and phasers and shit on it. When I put the flangers or phasers after the distortion, then I do it because I want the flanger to be in the foreground, and the distortion is only making the body that I'm working on. And when I put the flangers or phasers in front of the distortion unit, then I do it because I want to highlight certain frequencies with the distortion that are generated from the modulation effect. So in this case, you have seen an example where I did the phaser in front before, and now I have an example where I put the flanger afterwards. And it's a very special flanger, and since that's a valid use case, I will do that now. So the special thing about this flanger is that actually is tuned by notes. Now the fun part is actually trying to make new melodies with this very complex sound where you can barely hear the original sound anymore, and just try where it goes. Maybe it's going to be total garbage, maybe it does not. Let's see. Now the interesting part about this is that I probably wrote a lot of notes that just made no sense with this scale at all, where even Adam Neely would say, what the fuck is going on there? But the cool thing about this is, since I'm driving this into distortion, it creates a lot of harmonics all across the spectrum, and then I use this flanger to basically only highlight the harmonics that make sense with this composition, so that everything else gets kind of left behind and only creates some background character stuff, while only the cool stuff gets enhanced by the flanger. So I can basically do whatever I want and it will sound kind of cool as long as I don't fuck it up too hard. And it's and it seems to work. You see, like this note, it's would you know that it's not in the right scale? I think you wouldn't, because it sounds cool in this context. So I can leave it like that. Now we can listen to both things. The one that was composed with the harmonies in mind a lot, and the one that just is completely random in some way, and serious, and see what happens. And it's really cool, and it's very subtle. The difference between the two parts is very subtle, even though the notes are completely different. And now, just for the lols, we will actually listen to the sound without the flanger, and also without some of the other effects. Well, I would have thought that it's worse. It's actually kind of cool in a jazzy way. And also just not using the reverb, because I started to talk about chiptune in the beginning and then I slapped a reverb on it, even though that's not a thing in chiptune. So it might be a good decision to actually not do all this. I just did it for some reason. I don't know. Anyway, enough of this video. You have seen the plugin, it's really cool. And the rest is just up to you. The DOM, it really does a great job at dominating things. And I think it gave me a little bit more confidence that I actually like being dominant sometimes. I'm not sure in which sequence the filters are. I think the low cut is actually before the filter, and the high cut is afterwards. No, that wouldn't make sense, because when you dial in the high cut, then the drive sometimes does this oomph thing. So I think both filters come before the distortion stage, and then the distortion stage does its thing. Or maybe it's even some sort of feedback loop thing that's going on here, which would make also sense. Not sure, I'm not so much into developing distortion. But it's definitely more than just a wave shaper. It's not just slapping the 10H function at something. It's definitely more than that. Much more, and it's a lot of fun, and it's cool. And even though I felt like it has a little bit of a lack of auto gain, it's already pretty cool. Only thing I would change about that is that the very low drive levels, the one around 0 decibels, actually make the signal quieter than it was before. And it would be cool if the 0 decibel state was more like pretty close to the dry signal, and then you go to the stages that are around here, where it would start to make sense as a distortion plugin, where it does this kind of stuff. Especially when you have a reverb on it or something, where it really has this sound that sounds like you're opening doors or something, old doors, which is actually something that I really like Influx for. This plugin is really good for this old doors kind of sound. And then you drive that drive harder, and then at that point the volume is pretty cool. Sometimes, as you have seen, I had to turn down the output some decibels, but usually not a lot, just a little bit. So it is really reasonable to not implement auto gain here. But if it was implemented a bit more than it already is, I don't know if it is already, but if it was implemented a little bit more detailed, that would be cool. But apart from that, I have no critique on this plugin. It's a lot of fun. I will keep on using it. It's cool. And you can never have enough sick distortion plugins that are really easy to use. And this is one of them. And yeah,